Show. Be inspired, be empowered. The Anouk Show.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to your weekly dose of inspiration, The Anouk Show. I'm your host, Anouk, and I'm glad you're here. Can you believe this year is almost over? Time has flown. It feels like we blinked and the months just moved. But hear me, just because the year is passing does not mean your purpose has passed. Your dreams are not expired. Your breakthrough is not behind you. You are still right on time. This space, this moment is where we pause, reconnect, and remind ourselves of the truth. We are powerful. We are capable. We are growing, and we are becoming. So today, I encourage you to breathe, to be present, and to open your heart to inspiration, encouragement, motivation, and empowerment, because your story is still unfolding and the best chapters are being written now. Let's get into it. This is The Anouk Show, and this is your time.
The Anouk Show. Yeah. Anouk Say Show. What you say. Anouk Be motivated. Anouk Show. Yeah, yeah. Anouk Show.
And now for the soul. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 states, "Now faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the assurance about what we do not see." This verse encapsulates the essence of faith and invites us to explore its significance. Here you will find two key points to consider. Firstly, confidence and hope. Faith provides a strong foundation for our aspiration and dreams. When we have faith, we are encouraged to pursue our goals with the belief that they are possible, even when circumstances seem challenging. This confidence fuels perseverance and motivates us to take action, reminding us that our dreams are worth pursuing, regardless of the obstacles we may face. Secondly, belief beyond the visible. Faith goes beyond what our eyes can see. It involves trusting in a greater plan or purpose, even when the outcome is uncertain. This perspective allows us to navigate life uncertainties with a sense of peace, knowing that there are forces and possibilities beyond our current understanding. By embracing this aspect of faith, we can find strength and encouragement in difficult times. In my closing, Hebrews chapter 1 verse 11 encourages us to cultivate faith as a powerful force that not only supports our aspirations, but also helps us to navigate the unknown with assurance and confidence. This is your inspirational moment by Minister Derek Renter.
The Anouk Show. Yeah. Say what you say. Anouk Be motivated. Anouk Show. Yeah, yeah. Anouk Show.
Saying yes to yourself is not selfish. It is sacred. You don't need permission to grow. Your life is your approval. Time moves fast, but purpose moves deep. What matters will not pass you by. Every day you wake up is proof that your story is still being written. You are allowed to take up space, shine, and be seen. The year is not over, and neither is your becoming. When you say yes to your truth, everything falls away. Your future is waiting for you to step forward, not step back. Trust the timing, even when it runs faster than your expectations. Peace is what happens when you stop negotiating your worth. You don't have to rush to be meaningful. Purpose unfolds in presence. Saying yes to yourself means choosing what nurtures your spirit, not just your schedule. Growth is uncomfortable, but stagnation is unbearable. Choose growth. Your voice matters not because others say so, but because you are here. You are not behind. You are being prepared. You deserve rest just as much as you deserve success. So when you honor your boundaries, you honor your destiny. Your dreams did not expire. They're waiting on your courage. Don't wait for the new year to begin again. Begin now. The world changes when you believe you can. You don't need all the answers, just the willingness to keep moving. So say yes to joy, say yes to healing, say yes to you. Your light doesn't ask for permission to shine. It just shines. The more you love yourself, the more aligned your life becomes. You're becoming everything you once prayed for. Progress is still progress, even if nobody sees it. If God woke you up today, that means purpose still has plans for you. Your resilience is your testimony in motion. Time didn't escape you, it carried you. And you're still rising. Saying yes to yourself is the first step to saying yes to your destiny.
It's inspiration time. Come on and renew your mind. Everybody, it's inspiration time with Anouk.
Family, it's that time of month where I interview myself so you can connect a little deeper, because sometimes we see each other, but we really don't know each other. So here we go. It's called Ask Anouk. So Anouk, can you believe how fast this year has gone? Well, honestly, I'm still trying to figure out how we got here so fast. It's already November. It feels like the year just blinked. But what I've learned is time does not wait. So neither should purpose. I'm learning to be present, not perfect. I look back in what I was going through at this time last year. Last year, 2024, was a defining year for me. It was a challenging year for me. It was a year of reveal. It was the year of decision making. It was the year of courage. And when you look at October, November, and December of 2024, it was a very low time in my life. I remember coming back to my hometown here in Shreveport, Louisiana, where I just laid in bed with my mom. I just wanted to be under her. And I laid in the bed and I just started crying. And then we started talking and then we started laughing. And it was an interesting, period where you look up and you wonder, how did I get here? How did I get into this? Why am I here? And then you have to realize that, if you can look up, you can get up. And so even though I kind of laid around, not doing too much for those 3 months, that I feel as though in the midst of it all, I began to see my breakthrough. I began to get my strength back. And in February of this year, I began to get my power back. There was something that magically happened to me around Valentine's Day on February of this year. And I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I felt powerful again. And I never want to lose that power. I never want to give individuals that much power. So this year I have been praying to God for clarity and connection. I continue to have a lot on my plate. And one of my friends texted me recently this week saying, Anouk says yes to everything. And, I wrote a book that I am really trying to make sure that we continue to say yes to yourselves. And so I'm still learning, it doesn't mean that I have it perfected. And so I'm positioning myself to, prioritize things in my life and getting ready for, a very powerful 2026. And the things that I'm doing now is getting me in motion and purpose, for that. And I know that there are some things that I do have to start saying no to. So no will be the answer when it doesn't align with my, purpose. No will be the answer when I don't have peace about it. And it doesn't just seem to align where I get that settlement. So, okay, well, Anouk, 2024 is gone and 2025 is almost gone as well. And I'm glad to see that you're well positioning for 2026. You're still here. So I cannot wait to see all the great things that God has in store for you. But what really surprised you most about this year? Besides how fast time really does fly, and, also how much can change so quietly and quickly. Growth doesn't always make noise. Sometimes it's really private. Sometimes it's sacred. Sometimes it's internal. This year has reshaped me in ways that I'm still discovering. And even though I'm still trying to figure it out, I feel like I am stronger. Like that song says, I'm stronger, I'm wiser. I would definitely say that I have grown so much this year. And I feel like I have it almost where I need to be able to just walk in it. Because a lot of times I feel like in my life, I've tried to people please, and I may still have some of that going on, but I'm trying to do a better job of making sure that I'm okay with saying no where I need to say no, and that I'm really positioning myself for what God is telling me that I need to do. And I used to probably depend on other people a lot and other people's opinion. Like I sometimes thought people knew about a topic more. And now I'm really trying to rely on God. And I know that God talks to me. I prayed a lot in 2024 around discernment. And I feel like I need to just make sure that I'm comfortable with what God is telling me to do. I had my best friend Capathia tell me the other day, God is talking to you, Anouk, but are you listening? And I am hearing God. And now I just have to, have that courage to move forth and be comfortable with what God is telling me that I need to truly do. And so I'm excited about all the growth that I have managed to go through this year, and just am excited about what God is lining up for me in my life for next year and years to come. And so Anouk, what has been one of the biggest lessons you've learned? I've learned so many lessons. Again, when I reflect back on my life, and sometimes I think through, like, a lot of times people will ask me, who am I? And a lot of times people talk about what they do. And I often will answer to say that, I've done all this stuff and I have this resume, but what I have done is not who I am. And I always am trying to kind of focus on that part of who I am and who I want people to see when they see me. And I have done so much in the corporate world. And I've, tried to do a lot of things, in the community as well. But when I sometimes look at my personal life, especially relationship wise, my resume don't look good for that side of it. I was married when I was in my early 20s. I probably stayed married about a decade, and that was to my son's father. And I reflect back on that relationship, and I kind of think about what I learn from that relationship. And I'm happy to say that me and my first ex-husband, we can talk on the phone. He called me, I guess in September, when he saw on Facebook that one of my aunties had passed. And I feel like, in life, you go through life, you meet a lot of people, and I want to have peace with everybody. So I've been writing a list of if there's people I haven't spoke to or people that I feel like I need to at least do what I need to do to make peace. And I can only do my part. If I reach out and the person don't reach back, that's on them, but I'm actually going to do my part. So there was one time where I didn't talk to my first ex-husband at all. And now I'm glad that we're able, to talk. We're able, to laugh. And I wish nothing but the best, for him. And I know, or I think he wished nothing but the best for me, because at the end of the day, I am his son's mother and he is my son's, father. So there was a purpose in our life back then together. And now, we have purposes separately. And so I've kind of grown, and I know it is important to give people grace. And you never know what someone is fighting through. And many of us carry battles behind our smiles. So I am trying to lead this season with kindness as much as I can. And, I kind of talk about, my relationship resume does not look good. After that marriage, I went into a very long relationship, was in that relationship longer than I was in that marriage. That was almost a decade. And, at that point, I feel like I might have been in a people-pleasing season where I was trying to do everything about him, make him happy. And I probably reduced myself. And I feel as though when I go back to evaluate, I don't know if he really, really appreciated me for who I was, or maybe just what I was doing. I don't know. It's just those questions that you have. But I am grateful of, kind of what I learned, from that relationship, because I felt like I learned a lot about me during that season. And I, unfortunately, we have not spoken since, we, broke up. And I definitely always am trying to say, when people are in your life for such a long time, you're hoping that they are okay, that you're hoping not to wish any bad their way. And that's my hope for him as well, that I, pray that he's fine. Don't wish any bad things on him. I, would definitely wish that there was, some way where, that all is well. And then after that, or in the mix of that, I went through a second marriage that was very short-lived. And, I feel like sometimes when you are in a vulnerable state, you sometimes make vulnerable decisions and reality may not be reality. And so I really do encourage people to take time to, pray to God for confirmation, because sometimes when we think we are hearing God's voice, it may not be God's voice. So you got to, talk to your Father more so that you know what his voice sounds like, or what he does to give you, the confirmation, the signs that you need. And so, I feel like that relationship, that marriage was a total learning experience as well, that, why I went through it, why I got there, I don't know. But I do feel like on the other side of this, it's helped me mature into the person. And now I, as I am at this stage of my life, I look at things from a different lens, and I have a different sense of appreciation, and I have a different respect for, real men. And I also have more respect for who I am and what my boundaries are and what I'm willing to expect and accept. And so over the course, I am grateful for it all. Sometimes people look at me to say, oh my God, I can't believe that you've kind of gone through, 2 bad marriages. And I would have to say we need to add that third relationship to it, because that was a long relationship as well. But, hey, life is life. Life be life. And but I've learned from that. And I do know that God is positioning me for the best yet from all of this. And I'm glad that I have real raw conversations about love and relationships, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. And I do think that it's helping me. And God knew that based upon the little shy girl that I used to be in elementary, middle school, that I probably didn't have the exposure that I needed. And sometimes I was clinging, way too fast. But now in this season, I feel, more confident than ever. So you guys stay tuned. You just, never know. But I do feel like I'm in a better place to understand what you really do need to look for in a relationship. And I won't rely on, other people's, opinion. I will just focus on what God is, telling me, and I'll take it, nice and slow. And so that is a personal story about a biggest lesson that I've learned. It's really about giving, people grace, giving myself grace, that I'm okay. I'm not embarrassed of my story. People talk about my accolades professionally, but I'm going to, also share my story of, some personal things that's not so great, which is probably in the relationship arena. But hey, I've grown, I've learned, I'm better, I am ready. And ready to share my wisdom, and ready to make sure that connections in the future are pure and, real and sustainable, and making sure that someone likes me for me and not for what I can, do for them, or who, whatever the, scenario, might be, because life is so short and precious. You really want to be with someone that's truly your friend, and that will, respect you and not to do any harm to you. And I think in that second relationship, there was, some, harm there, and that I probably was not mature enough to talk about, to work through it, because I always had a couple of non-negotiables. And when that one negotiable was hit, I just couldn't, and probably both of them were hit, but one for sure is just didn't, how to manage. But I have totally forgiven like everybody. There's not one person right now that I have not forgiven, but I have a list of a few reach outs that I'm going to do, because I'm going to do my part, but it's up to other people if they reach back. And it's completely fine. When God tells you to do something, you should do it, no matter how people might try to position it differently. You can't worry about that. And I am going to do what God tells me to do, and I'm going to try to do the right thing. And when I make a mistake, I'll try again better and do better and go from there. Okay, Anouk, that was a mouthful. I mean, you took us from, down the path of, these relationships. And I hope that you have definitely grown and learned. I'm glad that you don't seem to have any, bitterness. And I see that maturity. So that is really good to hear. How would you handle difficult moments? There are times I've had to just sit with myself. Like, I really do like people. I'm a social bug. I like to talk to people. I like to meet new people. I like to do things, but I also like time just by myself. It is important for me to have time in the morning to where I can just be with God, to pray and meditate, and to kind of set things out for, my plan for the day. And that is my time to sit by myself. It's time for me just to breathe and exhale. It's time for me to, be still. It's time for me to ask God for strength that sometimes I don't even feel. But what I won't do is give up. And that is, the victory, that when I look back of where I was this time last year, and I look at where I am right now, I would say it's nothing but God. And I thank God for sanity. I thank God for, people he had to remove out of my life or in different positions. And I thank God for all the new people he's brought into my life. I mean, and God had to peel those other people away for me to have my now and where I am now. And, and I'm just, really grateful. I have some really great people, a really great village. And I am truly grateful for realness. I am really grateful. And I will say that through all difficult moments, because that's just a kind of a part of life, is that I'm going to trust God. And I know that a lot of times you're tested so that you can have a testimony, and we're overcome by our testimony, and our testimonies can help other people. And I enjoy this show because I have the opportunity to have this platform to tell my story, and not only my story, but have other people come to the show to tell their stories or to give some nuggets of encouragement. And so I want us to know that this is our platform for us to tell our stories, to help other people, to uplift other people. We are not going to, point fingers or think that, wow, this person is horrible because they went through something. We all have gone through something, and there's more stuff we will all go through, but it's a matter of how you use that to help someone else. How do you use that to build? And lessons are lessons. And I would say even in those failed relationships, those were learnings. And it was things that obviously I needed to learn and pass that test to prepare me for what God has. And I know that I'm going to eventually have a good, victorious relationship story to share back with you guys. So looking forward to it. The best is yet to come. Anouk, what are you proud of yourself for? Well, I'm proud that I just kept going. That I remember when I came back to Shreveport in October 2024, one of my friends, LaTanya, she was, she looked at me like I was really frail, and it looks like she was overly concerned. But I never lost my mind. I had my sanity, and I thank God for that. I might have lost a little weight, but I picked up all those pounds again, and I'm proud that I did not fold. I'm proud that I showed up for myself, even when no one could see the work I was doing. I'm just proud that I didn't quit. I'm proud that I was able to make some tough decisions in the midst of. I'm proud that I'm able to now use what I've went through to help someone else. I'm proud that I am still here. I'm proud that I'm still going. Yes. So it sounds like 2024 and 2025 are some things to talk about. So what changed for you this year? Well, I would say my priorities have changed. My peace have changed. My standards have changed. My expectations have changed. I chose me, not in a selfish way, but in a healing way. I realized that saying yes to myself is saying yes to the life I'm meant to live. I still have to learn to say some no's, though. But I'm working through that. I'm praying about it. And I have this thing that I started last year. Sometimes I forget, and I have my friend Veronica who reminds me, Anouk, remember, no quick decisions. That sometimes I can be too quick to make a decision, too quick to say, yes, I'll help, too quick to go and do something. And now I'm trying to make sure that I pray and meditate for about 72 hours before I jump out to do anything new or make any, real decisions. And so I'm just proud of the fact that I have so much peace. And it's only, God. And at some point we'll go deeper into all of these stories. But it's just totally amazing of how comfortable I am in my own skin, how comfortable I am in, moving forth. So Anouk, how do you feel closing out this season? Well, I feel stronger, like I said. I feel wiser, and I feel softer. I feel more grounded. I made it through some things I didn't talk about. And baby, that's strength. I didn't just survive, I grew. Okay, well then, Anouk, what are you looking forward to next? Well, the rest of my story, because the best part of my journey is still unfolding. I'm stepping into joy, into purpose, into abundance, into peace. I believe the rest is truly the best to come. Okay, so family, thank you for sitting with me, seeing me, and growing with me. We don't just live life, we evolve through it. And I'm grateful to share this journey with you.
All right. I pray that you've been inspired.
Protect your peace. Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3. He will keep you in perfect peace. Keep your mind stayed on Him.
Join us again, same place, same time next week. Be inspired and keep on keeping on.
The Anouk Show. Be inspired, be empowered. The Anouk Show. Thursday morning on GSSL Radio.